In this video, we will discuss about this CAR-T and CAR-NK therapies comparison. Basically, we will discuss what are the advantages and disadvantages of these CAR-T therapies and CAR-NK therapies. And so let's start with this discussion. We will start with these CAR-T cells. One of the major advantage of these CAR-T cells is that they have long lifespan, or that is why it will lead to this long-term tumor control. And it has these uh, receptors such as these T cell receptors, CD3 receptors that can interact with the MHC, major histocompatibility complex, and so that it will gets the information about the tumor antigen, and this will lead to the activation of the T cells, and it can generate antigen dependent cell cytotoxicity. At the same time, the cytokines, the surrounding cytokines of the T cells can also cause these T cells activations. That is shown here, that if the cytokines that is presented in the surrounding of the T cells belongs to some of the tumors, then it might also lead to the T cells activations. And some of the T cells inhibitions uh, receptors that are present on the T cell surface are the CTLA4 and PD1. This will lead to T cell inhibition. It is necessary in the regular system because to avoid the continuous activations of the T cells, even when there are no harmful things or harmful foreign particles are present. Harmful particles are present within the host. If these T cells inhibitions are not there, then it might cause the continuous activation of the immune cells that might lead to the autoimmune disease. So, but sometimes the tumor cells utilize these receptors or the ligands to inhibit the T cells functions. And apart from that, there are other receptors that will cause these T cells activations are this CD28, CD86, and also major compatibility complex required CD8, CD4, or CD3 in vicinity of its for its activations. And it can be, and here it is shown that these CAR receptors, CAR can be transduced in these T cells, so that CAR receptors, which is with a specific antigen informations, can also be used for T cells activations. In terms of the CAR-NK cells, so before going to the CAR-NK cells, the disadvantage of CAR T cells is that it might have this donor heterogeneity. These T cells, if they are taken from the different donors, it might call this heterogeneity. It will have the CRS effect, neurotoxicity, and GVHD effect also. This is basically due to the long lifespan of the CAR T cells. For the CAR-NK cells, since it has a low lifespan, these disadvantages of the T cells will be the advantages of the CAR-NK cells, such as low risk of GVHD, low CRS, less neurotoxicity, and it can be used for the multiple recognition site, or antigen independent killing can also be used. And off-the-shelf manufacturing, it means that cell lines, that is NK92, can be used for these CAR-NK therapies. So here the receptors that cause these NK cells activations are these NKGD2, NKP30, NKP44, NKP46, CD24, and CD226. These are the well-known receptors that will cause activation of the NK cells. Here also the CAR can be transduced to form the which have the specific anti-tumor antigen informations. Uh, Contrary to the T cells, NK cells has the capability to release the cytotoxic granules perforin and granzyme that will cause or trigger the apoptosis in the tumor cells. And the other inhibitory, NK cells also has the inhibitory receptors such as NKG2A or KIR. And these receptors also plays a similar role that these T cells inhibition receptors plays, is to suppression of the immune response once there are no harmful uh, particles within the host. However, the immune cells use these inhibitory receptors to suppress the immune response against the tumors. And the limitations of this CAR-NK cells is that it has short lifespan. So for and that will lead to the solid tumor infiltrations, uh, or it might cause problems in the solid tumor infiltrations, as infiltrations might take time, but since the lifetime of these NK cells are low, they might not be able to reach to the tumors, and before that their lifespan might be over. So these are some brief comparisons of the CAR-T and CAR-NK, and how if you need to understand more about this, the CAR-T and CAR-NK therapies and the comparisons in detail, you can go through the reference that has been provided in the description. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.